hope you're all doing well. Tonight, I have a video that's quite special. Primarily because it was voted for by all of my channel members. I gave them some choices to decide the next video. And this was the highest vote. So thank you, members. I love you guys. That being said, I also want to address how unbelievable this month has been for this channel. So much growth and so many new faces. So, welcome, everyone. I'm glad you're here. Now, onto the story. If you've read the title, you have a general idea of what this story is about. But I should say that I was like 10 years old at the time. I was a wee little pink monster. And, didn't have the greatest sense of direction or, well, I just wasn't that smart, I guess. So, it all started one crisp fall day. I should say night, but anyway, my family took me to our local farmer's fair. I guess it was kind of, yeah, that's really what it was. That happened around Halloween every year. We were friends with the owners and used to go pretty much every year until they eventually closed down. And for all those that might not be aware of what kind of place I'm talking about, it's like a place where people go to pick apples and pumpkins and go on hay rides, walk through corn mazes, and enjoy time with family. So, anyway, it's something I've always treasured, and I have some great memories there. So, this story, however, wasn't it wasn't my favorite memory. So, this farmer's fair stayed open from early September till Halloween. And this story takes place a few days before Halloween. My family and I almost never went there that late in the season, but we were busy for most of September and October, so we just wanted to squeeze it in before they closed. So we get there, and something seemed different. It was sort of dark to start off with, like the hour before twilight hits. And there were spooky ghosts and jack-o'-lanterns, and everyone was dressed up all scary. Lots of Halloween decorations all around. And that's when I realized that they had everything ready for Halloween, which I'm sad is past, by the way, as I am a huge fan of Halloween, and I was back then too, so I was excited to experience the spooky atmosphere. The first half of the night was amazing. I got popcorn and caramel apples, and I got to take a ride on the haunted hay ride, where zombies chased the cart. scary, but pretty fun. But then my attention came upon the one thing that I hadn't done yet. The corn maze. It was just sitting there, asking to be explored. What could I do as a young little monster other than to explore it? I know. So I went in. I told my parents that I had to use the bathroom so I could sneak in, because they'd never let me in the maze alone, especially not at night. They really didn't want me to get lost. Anyway, when I reached the entrance, a man dressed up, I want to say like Dracula. I'm pretty sure it was a vampire. Could have been Edward Cullen for all I know. But anyway, he gave me a flashlight and told me to watch out, because he'd seen something walking through the corn. And he'd heard sounds as well. But I figured he was just trying to scare me, so I took the flashlight and walked in. It was extra scary to be in the corn maze at night. But I had done it before, during the day, and I was determined to finally beat the maze by myself without one of my parents guiding me through. So I continued my journey. I knew that I had to make it to the center of the maze, because in the center was a giant arch that you could actually walk up like it had a staircase. It was it was like a big bridge, I guess. And from the top of it, you could see the entire maze. So I figured if I could make it there, I could plot out the rest of my journey. Now, to be clear, I had heard movement from far away, and also heard the occasional teenage group walking through the maze, laughing and talking excitedly. But suddenly, as I was making my way, there was some movement really close to me, coming from my left. I turned and moved my flashlight's beam to where I heard the noise. And there, standing in the corn, was a werewolf. Yeah, or at least someone dressed up like one. And don't get me wrong, I'm someone with fuzz in weird places, but I'd like to think I'm not overly scary. This guy, on the other hand, this guy was scary. He was making this snarling sound, and the moment I saw him, well, he began to lumber towards me. I ran and ran, faster than Forrest Gump through that corn maze. Any thoughts of making it to the center were gone as I heard the wolfman close behind me. I could hear him making a howling sound as I turned left, and then right, and then another right, and then another left, right into a dead end. I could hear the wolfman approaching, so I dove into the corn and continued running until I found myself on another path. I was so tired at this point that I collapsed onto the ground and took a breath. But I had no idea where I had been, or where I was, for that matter. I know. So, I sat there for a bit, and then I realized something. I didn't have my flashlight anymore. I must have dropped it in my frightened sprint away from the wolfman. I was so lost and felt so alone. I wanted to just walk through the corn until I came across civilization, but I wasn't sure which direction to go. I contemplated my options for some time until I heard more rustling coming my way. I didn't even wait to see who it was. I just booked it. I ran and ran in the dark, tripping on stones and ears of corn as I went, until I tripped on something harder than a rock or a cob. It was big and seemed to go up. It was the arch. I quickly scrambled up the arch to look around. And well, once at the top, I saw the lights of the fair glimmering in the distance and knew which way I had to go. I quickly ran down the steps and jumped straight into the cornfield, not caring about following a path. I just ran straight. And finally, I could see light coming through the stalks of corn as I hopped straight out and onto the welcoming glow of my fellow people. And there were my parents, looking around and calling my name. I ran to them with tears in my eyes, and they quickly ran over to meet me. And well, I got in trouble for that stunt, but I never did anything like that again. I guess during the week leading to Halloween, the farm hired people to dress up as monsters and chase people around through the maze. I'm not sure who that wolfman was, or why he was so interested in chasing a little 10-year-old, but I hope he feels ashamed. That was not very nice. Regardless, though, it was quite an adventure, and something I still remember to this day. And well, it's pretty cold right now in my house. That's why I got this blanket. I've also got, a little snuggle buddy. It's a Squishmallow. I just got this one. Pretty cute, right? Yeah. Anyway, I hope that was a nice story. I didn't really say that was the end, but it was. Anyway, if you're still awake, I wish you a good night's sleep. And if you're asleep, I hope you're